So this is the cabinet which you guys have used in the last video. Now in continuation to that video, we will add some drawers inside this cabinet. We'll add some legs, and we will also add some non-graphical objects which we don't want to show it in the drawing but would want to consider it in the quotation. So now I have made the library for drawer and for the legs separately in two different files. So let us open one by one of them and see what things are necessary in order to generate quotation for them. So I first go to my leg. So this is the leg model which I created using simple block and cylinder commands. I gave a name to it. Now since this item will be calculated on per price, I need to have some mandatory attributes to this. If you remember, we have learned in detail about attributes in the last video. So for the items which are counted on per piece, we don't need a lot of attributes for this. So the only mandatory attributes for things which are calculated on per piece are category and the article code. So for that, I will just go to attributes. I will go to all attributes and I will go to category. If you remember, I told in the last video that the category can also be construction type. So it's just two different names, but the function is same. Click on construction type. Now, since this is the only item I have in my drawing, so Python has automatically selected the part. And here I have to define a category. So for this, I will define a category as hardware and I press enter. The second important attribute is the article code. So I go to article code and I will define an article code for this as 5689.009. The article code can be any number, any combination, anything what you like. Now this leg has all the attributes needed to generate the quotation. So all I will do now is just click on file and click on save. Now I will copy this leg from this file. So I will press Ctrl Shift and C. Since this is the only item, it has already been copied. I will come back to my cabinet and I will press Ctrl Shift and V. Now I have this leg here. I have made a little modification in this cabinet. I have uplifted the left and right side and I have deleted the back skirting since this cabinet is standing on legs. Now if you see on the right hand side in the group structure, these four legs are now out of my group. So make sure you put it in the group. What I would prefer is I will make a new group under the group. So I will right click on the main group. I say new subgroup to the group and I can say this is the group of my legs. I press enter. So I have a group now and I can just insert all the four items into this group. So we have legs installed. Now we go to the drawer and learn about the drawer. So I come to the drawer file. Now in drawer, there are many components which are calculated on different unit of measurement. First of all, there is channel. So the channels are calculated on per piece. Then we have the drawer box, which is calculated on per square feet. And at last we have the drawer mat, which is calculated on per running meter. Now we will learn how to give attributes to different components which are calculated on different unit of measurement. So first of all, we will learn about the channel. So I will make them exclusive visible. So I will say right click, make exclusive visible, both the channels. Now, if you know, both of the channels are sold in the market as one set. So we don't want Catbit to give us price for this channel separate and for this channel separate. So for that, we will go to the group command, group elements, and I say I want to group this part and this part together. And the name of the group is Bloom, let's say soft close. Just one thing to remember, whenever you group two parts and if you want it to count it as one single item, always click on this option which is keep close in part list. So once you do this, Catbit will count it as one single parent item and not two child items. I will click on OK and I will escape. So if I look into my group tree, I have a group, main group as Blum standard, and under that I have a group of Blum soft close, which is our channel. Now in this case, I will not give attribute to single parts, but I will give attribute to the group. So for that, I will again go to attribute. In this case, I will not choose all attributes from the parts, but I will choose from all attributes from the group. So I go to all attributes and I say I want to give a construction type to this group. If you see, the group is selected. Don't make a mistake of selecting this attribute which is of parts when you are treating them as a group. I say group, all attributes, and I can just say construction type for this group is again a hardware, and the article code for this group is 5334.45.65, and I say okay. I will right click and make all part visible. So our story for channels is done. Now we'll talk about the wooden parts. So I will make them exclusive visible and I press enter. So now these are the wooden parts which will be calculated on per square feet. So for this, we can define the attributes using material palette. If you remember, we have learned material palette in the previous video. So we go to attributes, we go to material palette, and we already have our palette ready. But in this case, the boards which I am using right now for this drawer is made in MDF and it is in white color. So let us quickly make our palette. I go to material palette. I say manage, new entry. Once you fill it, just click on save, say okay, and apply it on all the parts, and I press enter. So the material has been applied successfully on the wooden parts. Now our last thing which is remaining is this anti-slip mat. So I will right click on that and I say make exclusive visible. So this is a mat which comes in a roll of 3 meter. For this as well, we have to give attributes. So I go to attributes once again. I say all attributes. First of all, we will give a construction type. Now since this is something which is calculated on linear basis, so we cannot call it as a hardware since we are using hardware for per piece items. So for this, we will give a category of linear items and I press OK. Second thing, again, for the category which are calculated on per running meter, two things are important, the construction type and the article code. So I will click on article code once again, apply it on it, and I give an article code of 10023 and I press enter. Right click, all part visible. Now our drawer is perfectly ready to generate the quotation. I will just right click and save the file. Now let us insert this drawer into our cabinet. So now our cabinet is ready with legs and drawer system. Just one thing to remember, when you insert drawer, it should be under the main group of cabinet. You see in the group tree, these two drawers are outside the group. So I will just quickly click and drag inside the main cabinet. So when I generate the item wise report, it gives me the cost of complete cabinet with the hardware system. Now we will quickly add some non-graphical objects such as screw, cam and dowels, which I showed you in the video. Now these non-graphical objects are always made under a group. It doesn't show anywhere in the drawing, but it gets counted under the quotation. So for that, I will just go to the group and I can just right click on the group and I can say I want to make a new NGO to the group. So this is nothing but just an invisible object. I can give a name. So let's first make it for a towel. I can give article number and I can give a construction type as fittings. I will just say that I need 8 dowels in this cabinet. So if you see, I have a non-graphical object here called as dowel here in my group tree. Same way, I will make it for cams and I will make it for screw as well. Okay, so we have added our non-graphical objects as well. I will just close this group and click on file and save. So we are done with adding all the hardwares what we needed in this cabinet. Now I will show you how to upload the price list of all these items onto the CADBID with the help of Excel import. So in order to fill all the data, we need a template which is provided by CADBID. So we'll quickly go to CADBID and download the template. So to download the template, we go to setup, we go to product and we go to this option called as import from Excel. So before importing, we have to prepare our Excel price list. So for that, I will just download the Excel format. Once I have this template, I will just open it up and fill all the data. So before importing this item list onto CADBID, just remember that we have introduced some new categories such as hardwares, linear items and fitting. So don't forget to make these categories in CADBID before you import this Excel file. So once you add all the categories, I will just go to setup, I will go to product, import from Excel, and I will just select the Excel which we have just made and just click on import. So after importing the Excel file, CADBID gives you a status file which tells you that whether all the products which you have entered in the Excel have been successfully updated or maybe it has some error. Open it, just have a view on the last column of status that everything is on the done stage. If there is any problem in any of the entries, it will show up here. So now let us generate quotation for this cabinet. To generate quotation, I will go to part list and I will click on the bid menu. So now CADBID has calculated our quotation and it gives us a quotation for 23,946. So to check now what are the things inside, I will just go to the reports tab and I will click on the consolidated report. So this will give me a detailed summary of all the categories with the quantity and the amount. Now if I have to check the breakup report for individual category, I will close it up and I will go to all category report. I will maximize it, and if you see, I have the complete breakup of all the categories. So these are the fittings, these are the hardwares, these are the linear items, and these are the panel and board. To upload pictures here, you need to have images of all the products, and there is a very simple rule that the name of the image should be the article code of the product. So for all the categories which are calculated on per piece, per meter, per kilo, the name of the image should be the article code of the product. And for the category which are calculated on per square feet, the logic for the image is core material hyphen the color. So I have made all the images ready in a folder. To upload all of these images, I will just go to CatBit, I will go to setup, and I will go to upload images, and I can just click on drop images button and select all the images in one time, and I say please upload the images. Now CatBit has loaded all the images. So to view it in our reports, all I have to do is just go to the reports tab and open up the report once again. So if you see now, our reports are all filled with the images as well. To control the size of this image, you can just go to setup, you can go to configuration, and you can control the image height from here. So if you want to increase the size of the image, I will just change it to 80 pixels. I will click on save. I come back to reports tab and I open the report once again. So if you see, the images are now bigger in size. You can also configure the columns in this report. So maybe you don't want to show the price columns in this report. So for that, you can just go back to configuration once again. You go to report config tab, and under the category report column, you can turn on and off the columns which you need and which you don't need. So in this case, I say I don't want to show the tax amount and the total amount and not the price as well. I will click on save. I come back to the reports tab and I generate the report once again. So this is very dynamic. You change it in the settings and it reflects in the report on the go. So that's it for this video. In our next video, we will learn more about custom reports. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.